Hey guys, Mozeen here. Well, I'm wrapping up my Barbarian King and Archer Queen upgrades, so I'm just about done with my epic Dark Elixir farming, and I thought it would be a great time to post a second Dark Elixir farming guide that goes into a little bit more detail. So today what I want to do is talk about my army composition, how I gem my army to speed it up and attack several times in an evening most effectively without wasting any gems. And then show you some of the attacks I'm using, go through the rules I use when selecting an attack to make, and then show you some of the defenses and how my current base is doing defensively. So to start with, my current army composition I'm using, and again, if you remember from my previous Dark Elixir farming guide, my main rule is don't use Dark Elixir to farm Dark Elixir. I just think this is so critical if you want to keep your heroes upgrading continuously. You don't want to be using 4 golem raids or 4 lava hound raids and burning up 1,000 to 2,000 Dark Elixir every raid when you're going for 3,000 or 4,000 Dark Elixir. It makes so much sense. You know, if you can effectively raid using elixir only troops and figure out how to do that in a way where you can still get in and get out with the dark elixir from a base, you'll be so much more effective and so much quicker at farming up for your hero upgrades. So the basic composition I'm using, the core of it is 20 giants, 12 wizards, and 10 wall breakers. I always have 8 wizards in my clan castle, pretty much at all times, defense or offense. And I use the poison spell from my clan castle just about every raid. People like donating that. I actually probably donate more Dark Elixir spells than I use myself, but I always keep a haste on hand, either for donations. Sometimes I use it in my raids, not too often. So the main spells I use are 2 haste, 2 heals, and a jump. And I usually use all 5 of those spells every raid. So it is an expensive raid, about 300,000 elixir, so it's good to keep that in mind when you're picking bases to attack. So here I have my Barbarian King. Obviously I'm upgrading the Archer Queen right now. When I was upgrading the Barbarian King and had an Archer Queen, I often used this same composition. Sometimes I went with healers as well with the Archer Queen, so mixed it up a bit, but same composition works with Archer Queen. The biggest difference being you want to use some barbs and archers around the edges to make sure you funnel the queen in a little better, because she's more prone to walking around the outside of a base if you're not careful. And just to show you how I build these most effectively, so I'll have 2 barracks with this setup. I always have that first wizard queued up because that'll save you 8 minutes of build time if you can have that wizard built ahead of time. But 2 like that with archers, 2 with barbarians, and an extra wall breaker evens them out pretty closely. And then for spells, so I always keep all my queues filled up whenever possible. So gemming. When I am going to do quite a bit of raiding in an evening, you know, after the kids go to bed and the wife are asleep, and I can have maybe a couple hours to myself, what I'll do, you know, generally I've done a couple raids, 1 or 2 raids in the evening, so things are building up. It's not typically like this where I have a spell completed. And what I've found is that in between raids, what I'll do is in order to maximize the use of my gems, I will wait until my barracks are nearly complete, maybe 16 minutes to go, something like that, until they're completed. And then I'll gem both the Spell Factory and the Barbarian King, or whichever hero is up, right at that point, so that my Spell Factory and hero finish right about the same time as my barracks. That way I can spend 10 gems on the 2 buildings, not gem a barracks right away, and then get a raid in. After the raid, you know, the barracks will finish quite a bit sooner than the Spell Factory and the Barbarian King, so I can wait quite a while. And it's usually about a half hour after I've done that initial gemming of the Spell Factory and Barbarian King when I will go back and gem a barracks. And so half an hour in, I do the third building to gem with the barracks, do a couple more raids, and then at some point in there, you know, another half hour in, I'm going to refresh the gemming on the Spell Factory. And then usually, in order to optimize it, I don't want to re-gem the hero right when the gem wears off. I wait a little bit and make it so that the hero finishes right about when the last spell will finish in the Spell Factory. And so what I end up doing, so if you're keeping track, what I did there is I gemmed the Spell Factory and the Barbarian King. Half an hour in, I gem a barracks. Another half an hour in, I re-gem the Spell Factory and the Barbarian King. So that gives me about 2 hours of boost time for 25 gems. And it's about as fast as I can keep raiding with a level 40 hero and using all 5 spells. So a very efficient way to keep raiding for a couple hours. And so I try to do that maybe once in the evening if possible. Okay, on to some attacks. Or before attacks, let me share with you the rules I use for attacking. So I have 10 rules. First, we've already talked about, and it's the most important, don't use Dark Elixir to farm Dark Elixir. Rule number 2, I stick to Champion League 3 and around 3150 trophies. So you can see right now I'm a little higher than that. That's because I wanted to keep my previous attack history clean of dropping trophies so I can share with you some of my attacks. But if you look at Champion League, you can see the max loot bonus is 1220 Dark Elixir. So nice bonus there. You can also find bases pretty easily in this range, especially around 3150. Bases that are relatively easy to attack and get to the Dark Elixir. And then the star bonus, the new daily bonus, another 1500 Dark Elixir is available there. So nice bonuses on top of pretty easy farming. So it's what I've found to be a nice combination and a little bit of a challenge too, especially using Elixir troops and not Dark Elixir. Rule number 3, only attack bases where I expect to get a star, except for extreme cases where a base is completely dead and there's just a ridiculous amount of loot there. You know, rare cases when they're full max drills that I can easily get, I will take that and plan on dropping some trophies during the raid, but generally try to avoid it. Rule number 4. Attack bases with 3000 Dark Elixir available and that I expect to get. So if there's only 3000 but I can see a lot is in the drills and I don't think I can take out all 3 drills, the Dark Elixir storage and the Town Hall, I might just pass it up because there's another base out there where I can get all 3000. Now there are some times where I will attack bases with 2500 Dark Elixir or more, but that's generally if I'm hitting a Town Hall level 9 and a base that has a lot of gold and a lot of regular elixir for me to take, where I'm pretty certain I'm going to have a high percentage on the attack, so I'll get a full bonus. So that's the only case really where I'll attack for 2500 Dark Elixir. Which brings me to rule number 5. Attack bases with regular elixir as well when possible. So I will have streaks where I'm attacking bases and getting less than 100,000 regular elixir from the raid itself without the bonus. But I have to really watch my elixir supply closely. Generally I'm ramping it up and using it to upgrade some walls at the same time. But every army I'm building costs just over 300,000 elixir, so I have to be really careful there, or my elixir supply can drop quickly. Rule number 6. No eagle artilleries. I have found that with my raid composition, eagle artilleries just destroy giants and wizards. And so I avoid those bases at all costs. I just don't attack them except for situations where there's a lot of loot and where I know I can take out a lot of perimeter structures before I enter the base. I can get a high percentage before I activate the eagle artillery. Rule number 7. I skip bases with high level defenses. I generally don't attack max town hall level 10s. I've done that successfully as well, but I've also learned my lesson several times, and it's easier just to go to the next base and find an easier one. I'm more happy with myself when I'm more patient and go for the sure thing. So, and the way I evaluate that is I look at the archer towers and cannons. Gold archer towers or red cannons, usually I'll just pass up on those raids. Rule number 8, stay away from resource rings. So I was using a resource ring for quite a while as my base. So I've seen it attacked a number of times. I think that my raid composition I'm using is just not really effective for resource ring type bases. It's hard to get into the center of it with giants, and the infernos will end up just burning it down in a lot of cases. So the only exceptions are if there's a lot of loot in the drills, if the drills are full and you can get those out on the edges, I'll attack them sometimes, knowing that often I won't get a star. And the other time I'll attack them is if they have the walls of a resource ring base, but the person designing the base didn't fully understand the way those walls were intended to work, which is to keep defenses on the outside away from that inner wall so that the golems or the giants won't jump the wall and go for the infernos. So if there's a defensive building right on the other side of the wall of an inferno, it makes it easy to jump those units right in at the inferno. So sometimes I will attack those bases. Rule number 9. Rule number 9 is a few things to beware of. Trap bases, where you can tell they're going to be really good spring traps, positioned to take out giants. Those can obviously cause the giants a lot of grief, so either take those raids really slowly or just avoid them altogether. Very similar to that is bases with defenses on the outside of the walls. Those are meant to mislead your giants and steer them in ways you don't want. So again, you can put a few giants out and some wizards to take those defensive buildings out quickly, and then follow that up with the bulk of your army to go through the walls. Or you can skip those bases altogether. Another type of base I kind of watch out for is bases with infernos towards the outside of the base. So the infernos are still within the walls, but towards the outside. And the reason I watch out for these is because infernos can really burn down giants quickly. So you just have to be really aware of it, especially if you're attacking on an inferno side. You have to rage those giants right in at the inferno, drop a lot of wizards and a lot of units really quickly and take out those infernos, or you can get into trouble on those bases. Another thing to watch out for are bases with good wizard tower coverage. So I have lately seen some bases where all 4 wizard towers are right towards the center of the base, right near the town hall and the dark elixir storage. Those can really burn down the giants quickly as well. So I keep an eye out for those, especially if they're near the infernos. So usually I'll use my heals around wizard towers, but you can't do that if they're right next to the inferno towers. So I'll skip some of those bases as well. Rule number 10. A couple good things to look out for. Bases that might increase the odds or the the desire to attack them. So the archer queen being down, so pretty common. The archer queen can do a lot of damage, so if she's under construction or sleeping, those are nice bases to attack because one less thing to worry about. When the archer queen is up, and you'll see this in some of the raids I show, a lot of times I'll drop my poison spell on her to slow her down. And then clan castles that are easily triggered definitely make a base easier to attack when you don't need to worry about the clan castle troops. You can pull them early. So those are my 10 rules. Now let's get to some attacks. So I'll show you my attack history here. You can see the last one there, I just needed to drop trophies. But you can see most of these raids I'm getting around 3,000 plus Dark Elixir. Some of them I've failed, even some where I have 2,000. They may have been raids where I didn't completely get in on the Dark Elixir like I intended. The nice thing is when you're not using Dark Elixir to farm Dark Elixir, even if you completely fail a raid, if you get 500 Dark Elixir out of it, you're still coming out ahead. But you can see most of the raids I do pretty good at getting above that 3,000 mark. A couple 5,000s and a 4,000 definitely aren't uncommon to get mixed in there. My last raid I kind of botched. I'll show you that in a minute, but still came out with 1,800 Dark Elixir. So let's just go into that while I keep talking here. And so you can see this base is a little bit rushed. Town Hall 9 defenses still, or maybe it's a fresh Town Hall 10. And it has a lot of buildings towards the outsides. So 3,600 Dark Elixir to go for. Quite a bit of gold in Elixir, so that's why I do decide to attack it, because I can get a lot of those resources just with my archers here at the beginning. I pulled the clan castle early. There was only one archer in there, so that was nice. And you can see the drills are all full, although they're low level. 3 full drills, and we'll rush this up a little bit. Archer queen is off towards the side, don't need to worry about her. One of the difficult things with this raid that I knew going in was the wizard towers are kind of grouped up and they're really close to the inferno tower. So I'm going to go in from the south side here in a minute. And I do kind of mess this up, like I said. But I'm going to send in some giants, get the wizards clearing things off and wall breakers going in to get in there. You can see the inferno towers on my giants now, so I'm raging the wizards in there. And that's where I mess up right there, is that jump spell kind of sent my troops to the northwest to take out those air defenses, whereas I should have just got it on the... My jump was too good. I should have just had it on the southeast side of that wall there to get them in on the inferno. But nice thing about having a max barbarian king is he does get the job done. It wasn't pretty, but he took out the town hall. Didn't get to the Dark Elixir storage, but I was able to get most of the loot out of the drills. I missed one drill there. So not a good attack, but I came out ahead. So I'll show all my recent attacks here. So attack number 2. Here you can see this base does have an eagle artillery. So again, one of the times when I will attack bases with an eagle artillery is where I can spread out some archers around the base. You can see a lot of loot in the collectors and the drills there. So I can spread out a lot of archers without activating that eagle artillery, which is really nice. So I'll get a high percentage towards a star and help with that, and get quite a bit of loot before triggering that eagle artillery. Speed that up a bit. And I am going to go, you can see that this is definitely a rush Town Hall 11. Low level defenses all around. So another reason why I chose to attack it even with the eagle artillery there. So I'm going in from the north on this one. Send my giants in, wizards behind it. I'm going to rage my wall breakers to maximize their penetration into the base. You can see my whole army is going to go down towards the center. The Eagle artillery is doing some heavy damage there, actually targeting my barbarian king, so not too bad. You may have noticed earlier I did drop my poison spell on the archer queen and the clan castle troops at the same time. So I like doing that when possible. And with the low-level defenses, now the Eagle artillery is gone. Quite a bit of cleanup, and yeah, we destroyed this low-level base. So it's good to know there are low-level bases up in Champion 3. They do exist. And really, I don't spend a lot of time searching for my attacks in most cases. I think the most recent attack that I failed there, I was a little bit rushed just because of things going on around the house. I spent a while looking for that one and kind of rushed into it when maybe I shouldn't have. This base is the base I'm currently using, so I was interested to attack this base. You can see it is somewhat rushed, or maybe a new... no, it is rushed a bit. Maybe just a new Town Hall 10. But this is a great base for protecting Dark Elixir, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I did want to attack this. I sent some giants in. I took it slow just because I knew the traps would be there, and send in the bulk of my army after that. And then rage in, again, my wall breakers. So there they go. I put the archer queen and the clan castle troops are in my poison. So you can see how much slower that archer queen is attacking my troops. And now I'm into the center of the base and raging in there. One of the Inferno towers is actually under construction. So I'm just going to jump over to that other Inferno tower, take that out, and I'm going to do a ton of damage on this base now. And the other nice thing about this raid, and why I chose to do it, is there was, I believe, 470,000 regular elixir available, which makes it very appealing to me because I know I'm not going to go backwards on my elixir in this raid. So that's the third raid there. And then the last one I'm going to show you, you can see this is a 1.6 million golden elixir raid with almost 5,600 dark elixir. So this is just an amazing find all around. You know, this is a pretty rare find. I'm not going to claim that you can search for these all day long, but this is a pretty awesome raid to show. So again, just start out with my archers, picking off buildings that are available to them. One thing I do notice on this raid is one Inferno tower is dark, which is nice, but all 4 wizard towers are right up here in a line, which can make it pretty tricky. The rest of the base is a little bit rushed, but I definitely keep my heal spells for those wizard towers. And so what I do often is start out a little bit slow with archers and then just a few giants and wizards to take out the first few defenses. So a couple wall breakers there to get them in, and some wizards to take out those first 2 cannons. Same thing on the other side. And then in we go. I'm gonna do a rage spell here to get through the wall, get my wall breakers going in through there and get into the inner layer there. Second Inferno tower is now dark. I'm raging into the wizard towers and put my heal spell there. Keep my giants with some life. And jumping into that last part of the base. And I cleared this base out even more than was expected, which was a very nice, nice raid for me. I did not expect to get all of the loot that was available on this raid, so pretty awesome. Okay, so those are the types of raids I do. I think I'll try to post another video later as I continue farming here of more raids that I do, because those all seem easier than normal even, so maybe I can show some little bit more challenging raids coming up. But this is the base I'm using, and this base is extremely effective for guarding Dark Elixir. You can see the way it's structured. Everyone who has attacked my base has come in from this north side, because it is quite easy to get my town hall. I've actually had a few people take out the town hall without even giving me a shield, which has been a little frustrating. So almost too good. But they almost have to choose between the town hall and the Dark Elixir storage, and no one has come in from the south to get the Dark Elixir storage. Only a couple people have come in from the north so hard that they've made it all the way down to the Dark Elixir storage. So I really do like this base for protecting Dark Elixir. It's not great for protecting other resources. A lot of times I'll lose 2 of my Elixir storages or 2 of my gold storages. But that's okay. And let me show you my defense log. So I went to this base about 2 weeks ago. So you can see my bottom 3 raids there. That was using a resource ring type base. But from there on, you can see 300 Dark Elixir, 600, 800, 700. Very few raids get over 1,000 Dark Elixir. This one that does, not a very impressive army that he used. I'm guessing I just had a lot of Dark Elixir in my drills at the time on that one. I don't get attacked a lot, so that can happen overnight. Again, 900, 600, 700, 400, 900, 800, 1,000. So very few are getting 1,000 Dark Elixir from me. There's a 2,600 Dark Elixir, but he used 4 golems, both his heroes, and 17 wizards and 2 P.E.K.K.A.s, so pretty expensive army. And then the most recent raid on me also used 4 golems, 2 P.E.K.K.A.s, had a max queen and a level 29 barbarian king, so a pretty hefty army to get in there, and he went all the way south. I wish I had the replay available on this one. But you can see the base works extremely well for protecting Dark Elixir. I like it a lot, and where I'm at now, again, if you've watched some of my other videos, I'm trying to complete my Town Hall 11 upgrade at the same exact time as I finish my Archer Queen. So she's going to level 38 now. I have 21 hours left to start her upgrade to level 39. So I'm going to gem it slightly. Start it to level 39 so that level 39 finishes right when the Town Hall hits Town Hall 11. And then I'm going to have enough Dark Elixir to gem that last level completely. So I'll have a maxed Town Hall and maxed heroes at the same exact time. So I need another 44,000 Dark Elixir in the next 21 hours. Not bad at all. Should be easily attainable. And that's it for now. I will try to post another Dark Elixir farming guide showing more videos of my attacks coming up, so a little bit shorter video. But this one I really went through all the rules I use for evaluating bases and how I do my attacks. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments or subscribe if you like my videos and you want to see the next Dark Elixir farming guides. Thanks guys. Bye.